This is an emergency broadcast from naturalnews.com concerning your liberty, your freedom, the future of your very country. My name is Mike Adams. I'm known as the Health Ranger. And for the record, I was the first person to do the acoustic forensic analysis of the Mandalay Bay shooting in Las Vegas. That video has had over 1 million views, or millions by now, and it identified acoustically the existence of more than one shooter. Now, of course, you know that we've all been lied to about the events that happened in Las Vegas on that sad day, that tragic day. But the evidence was there. Now, I am a scientist. I run a lab called CWC Labs, and we are ISO accredited. We're one of the pioneering food contamination labs now in the world, running multiple mass spec instruments. So I've got some observations to share with you about what's coming. They don't have anything to do with the lab, but they do have something to do with mass shootings. And this is my urgent emergency broadcast message to you today. The Florida shooting, the tragedy that it was, the lives lost, are being exploited now by the left in an attempt to take away your Second Amendment rights, your right to self-defense against the very kind of people that are killing our children, the psychopaths, the mentally ill in society, those who are on psychiatric drugs, who act out violence. Psych drugs have been involved in nearly every shooting. But the left doesn't want to acknowledge psychiatric drugs and their links to school shootings. They don't want to acknowledge the mental health issues. And they don't even want to protect their children. They are actively opposing defense mechanisms for schools, such as armed guards. These are the same people, keep in mind, that they want armed guards at their bank to guard their money. They want armed guards on the airplanes to guard themselves and maybe their fellow passengers when they're traveling. But they don't want to protect their own children in schools. They want them to be shooting galleries. Do these people really hate their children so much? It's unimaginable that they wouldn't want to have armed guards in schools to protect their own kids. But what they do want to do is they want to take away your Second Amendment rights, even though you weren't there, you had nothing to do with this shooting, and you're a law-abiding citizen, as are nearly all gun owners across America. More guns equals less crime. The more law-abiding citizens that have firearms, the lower the crime rates go. Just look at Minnesota over the last few decades. Highest gun purchase rates in history, lowest crime rates in 47 years. Guns don't cause crimes when they're in the hands of law-abiding citizens. Guns prevent crime. But they, the left, are now organizing a march, a gun control march, and there is an insidious agenda behind this march that you need to know about. And that's why this is an emergency broadcast. They're calling this march, I believe, the March for Our Survival. I'm going to call it March of the Bullies, because these left-wing lunatics, they're bullies on everything. They want to scream and shout and blame, and they want to take away your rights, even your right to speak. And this is the censorship that we're seeing across Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. These tech giants have become censors that are disallowing conservatives from participating in public discourse. You're not even allowed to participate in the debates anymore because they're going to censor you or demonetize your channel, as they've done with thousands of accounts on YouTube. They've also censored through Google and Facebook and so on. They've censored my website. They've censored many others. They've censored, the Gateway Pundit, InfoWars, Breitbart. The list is very long. Now, here's why this is so important. These left-wing people, they are filled with anger. They are seething lunatics at this point. They get a dose of hatred every night from Jimmy Kimmel, the biggest bigot in America today. They get this anger and hatred from Rachel Maddow and from MSNBC and fake news CNN. The New York Times spreading false lies, false statistics claiming there have been 18 school shootings this year. It's completely false. Washington Post, utterly fake news. Actually, Pravda, America's Pravda, propaganda rag that hates America. That's the Washington Post. These leftists are not going to stop at taking away your Second Amendment rights. That is simply step one. The next thing they want to do is take away your First Amendment rights. And they've already begun that process through the tech giants, like I mentioned. The radical left, which is tied to communism, they first must disarm the population before they can take away your First Amendment rights, your Fourth Amendment rights, your Fifth Amendment rights, and steal your country from you. They want to take over America. They want to steal your country. They want to bring in a communist regime. And taking away your guns is simply step one. They know they can't succeed if the people can defend themselves against tyranny. And this is why George Clooney and Michael Moore and all these other left-wing Hollywood lunatics and filmmakers, they want to join this gun control march to demand that you give up your guns. They want to demand that the government criminalize your ability to defend yourself against radical left-wing extreme violence, which is what the left always has done throughout history. They've committed mass violence against their political enemies. Look at the students of UC Berkeley today, openly calling for the deaths of conservative speakers like Ann Coulter or Ben Shapiro or Milo Yiannopoulos. Anyone that they disagree with, they say that they have the right to murder those people. Look at the billboards today calling for death of NRA members. The left is violent. The left is deranged. They're running on sheer lunacy, but they have an agenda. And that agenda is to delegitimize every conservative person in America, starting with the president and going on down to every citizen that is a conservative. This is crucial to understand. This is not just about taking away your guns. This is the left's attempt to delegitimize every conservative person in society, to say that you have no right to speak, you have no right to engage in debate, that you have no right to win an election. Think about it. The left delegitimizes every election that they don't win. Trump wins the election, they say, oh, it's illegitimate. They try to take him out. The deep state commits treason to take Trump out. The FBI colluded, the DOJ colluded under Obama, and Obama himself colluded. Hillary Clinton colluded, the DNC colluded. Seth Rich was murdered, people. Wake up. This is happening. Treason is being committed in our country right now to try to take away your republic. I was going to say democracy, but it's not just a democracy. It's a republic, a constitutional republic, and they're trying to steal it from you. And they're trying to disarm you so they can silence you. If you are a gun owner, and you're a lawful citizen like nearly all gun owners in America, like myself, concealed carry permits in multiple states, passed all the FBI background checks, have class 3 suppressors, weapons systems, never violated any law in my life, have not even a speeding ticket. And yet the left will demonize people like you and me and call us potential murderers because we own tools for self-defense. Meanwhile, it's the left-wing lunatics who are out there on the softball fields shooting at Senator Rand Paul and Representative Steve Scalise, and they almost killed him. It's the radical left-wing violent lunatics. It's Antifa. Bombing train tracks or derailing trains. These radical left-wing people are so violent, they are deranged, and they are dangerous to society. Now, let me step back for a minute and just re-summarize this, okay? It begins, they want to take away your Second Amendment rights so that you are defenseless. And then they want to strip away your First Amendment rights. That's already begun due to Google and Facebook and others. They want to take away your Fourth Amendment rights so that the totalitarian left-wing government can conduct illegal surveillance on all their political enemies. They did it with Trump. Obama signed off on it. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, James Comey, Hillary Clinton, they committed treason. Why have these people not been arrested? And the answer is because the deep state is so dangerous and so powerful. And their goal is to overthrow this country, overthrow this republic, to get Trump out of office, to take away your guns, to silence all conservative voices. It is a complete takeover that's underway right now. It's an attempted takeover, an attempted revolution of violence and of left-wing lunacy. If you don't wake up and become aware of what's happening right now, you're going to lose your country. You're going to lose your future. And you're going to lose everything that you value. You're going to lose your right to free speech. You're going to lose your right to defend yourself. They're going to take your private property. The government will steal your business. The government will steal your home. They will put you in a re-education camp. I mean, look at Cuba. Look at the revolution of Fidel Castro. They seized private property. They seized private businesses. The communist regime always sweeps through countries and takes over private enterprise. And then they ruin every country that they control. Look at Venezuela today. A socialist utopia that has now collapsed into worse than a third world nation at this point. Look at North Korea. A totalitarian, cult-like regime that is on the extreme left, where everybody has to worship the leader, just like we were told to worship Obama. Everybody has to worship government, the way that Obama required us to worship government and the media required us to worship government. Political enemies of the leader in North Korea are thrown into gulags. They're denied any right to free speech. And the country is a collapsed, it is disconnected from reality. This is just like the left. I mean, San Francisco, look, there's heroin needles and human feces all over the streets of San Francisco because it's run by leftists. And leftists run cities and nations into the ground. Look at Detroit, run by leftists. Look at Los Angeles. Look at the drug problem. Look at the crime problems in all these cities that are run by leftists. The gun control capital of the world, Chicago, is the murder capital of America because it's run by leftists. And if you let these people have power over you, they will take everything from you that you value. They will take your freedom. They will take your property. They will confiscate your income. They will take your liberty. They will silence you. They will imprison you. They will discriminate against you. They will deny you the opportunity to participate in a free market economy. They'll punish your business. They'll punish your website. They'll punish your career opportunities. If you don't line up and kowtow to the totalitarian left-wing narratives that they demand absolute conformity and obedience to their regimes. And I'm talking about people like Michael Moore and George Clooney and Nancy Pelosi and just all Chelsea Handler and just all these sick Hollywood elitists who think they're so smart and they are driving us into tyranny and they can't even see it because they're actually incredibly ignorant. They don't understand where liberty comes from. They don't understand anything about society, of how you have a free, prosperous society. They just want to ruin this country. And they're going to start by taking away your Second Amendment rights. I'm just here to tell you that the attacks on the Second Amendment are only step one. There's an attempted violent revolution underway by the left. It's rooted in old KGB tactics. And by the way, Robert Mueller just indicted 16 Russians. And it turns out that they were holding anti-Trump rallies in New York, and those anti-Trump rallies were attended by Michael Moore and promoted by MSNBC and CNN and maybe the New York Times. It's the left-wing media that has always been in bed with the Soviets. They've always been in bed with communism. There is a Russia collusion scheme going on, and it's the left. Look throughout the history of America. The left has always loved the Soviet Union. And it's conservatives who have always said communism is bad. It's just, you better be ready because it's underway. It has begun. They're coming for you. The war is on. There's a war against all American patriots, against all those who are conservative or libertarian or just who love liberty, who honor the Constitution. People just who abide by the law. If you are a lawful person, you are under assault by the left. Everything is under assault by the left. Even science is under assault with their fake climate change hoax. Rationality is under assault. Logic is under assault. They're assaulting the history of philosophy because there were too many white guys who were philosophical pioneers from thousands of years ago. They're assaulting mathematics. They say it's too white. They're assaulting yoga. They say that yoga is cultural appropriation. If you're a white girl doing yoga, you're not India enough to do yoga. The insanity it's just indescribable at this point. And we have to stop these radical left-wing totalitarians. They will leave this country in shambles. They will steal from you everything that you value, your family, your dignity, your just logic and reason, property, money, bank account, self-defense rights, everything. They will take it from you if you give them the chance. The time to resist the radical left is right now. So read my website and other independent news sites to stay informed. I'm Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. My website is naturalnews.com. You can check that website or newstarget.com every day for more updates on this war that is underway in America. The war against your freedom, your liberty, even war against your sanity, the war against logic and reason by the left. It's here now. It has already begun. Share this video with everyone you know. Thank you for watching. God bless America. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.